Greetings and salutations, good friends, and welcome to Blades in Paradise. My name is Dr. Winston Thoreau, and I will be your guide to the perils and pleasures of our paradise amidst the post-apocalyptic Pacific Northwest. Now, we'll get to the chicanery and shenanigans momentarily, but before we do, allow me to deliver some news. Blades in Paradise is an actual play podcast run in John Harper's Blades in the Dark, and we're sponsored by the developer Evil Hat Games. Use code BARDROCK10 at checkout to save on your order. Bard Rock Network is sponsored by Dragon Master Games. Visit dragonmastergames.com for all your CCG, TCG, TTRPG, and miniature game needs. If you enjoyed the stories we tell, you can tip us on Ko-fi or visit us at patreon.com/bardrockcafe. By sponsoring the network, you not only help us provide an ever-expanding library of shows, but gain access to bonus content, the network Discord, quarterly backer games with the network community, and an annual swag bag. Now, without further ado, let's join Lizzie, Sterling, and Max, as well as myself, the crew of ESPN. Enjoy! Blades in Paradise is a dystopian story intended for adults. These narratives intentionally explore challenging and often difficult to listen to topics. This campaign includes content warnings for gun violence, substance abuse, animal cruelty, child endangerment, and graphic description of physical injuries including the eyes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Blades in Paradise, the Blades in the Dark actual play where ESPN has somehow won the exclusive contract to provide medical supplies to local hospitals. From a con artist hot dog salesman, I'm Paul and I'm your GM for this campaign. As always, I'm joined by my very chaotic players. Go ahead in Discord order, introduce yourself and something interesting about your character.
At a loss because his boss is cross, we're talking about Dr. Winston Thoreau. Dr. Winston Thoreau, who is the specter of the group, who has this spooky ghost man who talks to all sorts of spirits. Winston didn't always have this ability. In fact, when he didn't speak to his first spirit until he was about 6 years old, when he woke up in the middle of the night in the orphanage to find some small ghost children playing a game of dice on the floor. And he popped down and joined him, and later on that night, when the nanny came to check on him, she found him sitting there by himself, rolling dice and talking to himself. And he was subsequently punished and put into solitary for 48 hours or so.
As was foretold.
No, that's your other podcast. There's no prophecies here.
I guess I'm next. My name is Justin. I go by Maximilian Graves, the very old and who knows if he's actually senile man of the group. I am the creepy bloodletter type. I cause a lot of mischief. Fun fact about Max, when he was, young and in his prime, he actually found the Fountain of Youth, but then immediately lost it again.
I'm Faith Queenie, and I play Lizzie Calhoun from the town of Tightwad that everybody likes to make fun of. And we have lots going on that looks like we're going home to meet Mom and Dad. But Shadow's always with me, and that's all that matters.
And what kind of dog is Shadow again?
A pure black American Eskimo.
Okay.
I'm excited to meet your parents. I'm gonna have to get all dressed up and put on like a nice suit.
Don't you always have a nice suit?
And my father will make fun of you.
Fine, I'll put on a ratty suit then.
Overalls.
Ugh.
I did not make fun of Tightwad. I enjoy it. I'm Riley. I play Sterling Ackred, the brashest, scrappiest scoundrel. We got a little romantic a couple episodes ago, so Sterling's ideal first date would involve Mortal Kombat, a battle of fate, and a warrior's steely resolve.
Like the video game or actual battle to the death?
Although weirdly enough, that is the full title of the most recent Mortal Kombat title in our universe at this time. It's just a weird coincidence.
That's how I describe the birds and the bees to my children. You see, when two combatants enter the arena,
Two people care about each other very much. They enter the octagon.
I mean, this is literally the story of how Goku and Chi-Chi went on their first date. Anyway. When last we left ESPN, they were en route to the Paradise Medical Hospital to care for Sterling's injury. To a lesser extent, everyone else's injuries, maybe, but mostly Sterling, like 90%. But first, as you leave your office, you're flagged down by a police officer. Oi, you there! Sergeant Pepper of the Paradise City PD.
Oh, hello, officer. What can we do for you this afternoon?
Ain't you them heroes what stopped the Lord and Taylor gang from robbing that train? My cousin asked me to give you these. And he holds out a picnic basket.
A picnic basket? Okay, well, thank you. Who is your cousin?
He's Sergeant Pepper.
Well, have Sergeant Pepper send him our regards, and you can tell him to come visit the good doctor anytime he needs a favor.
Of course. I like how you're just not fazed by the fact this guy's also named Sergeant Pepper. We definitely have an Officer Jenny situation going on with the Pepper family and a Nurse Joy situation.
Well, I mean, people can have the same name and the same title. This is not an uncommon thing, especially in military families or police officer families.
That's me commenting above him. Anyway, he walks away and you open up the picnic basket. You find 4 hero sandwiches. Before stopping the train robbers, they promised you each a hero sandwich. I was reminded in our Discord chat that I owed you hero sandwiches. And these aren't just ordinary sandwiches. Hero sandwiches have the very potent nutritional properties that eating one can either remove 1 harm of any level from you completely, or reduce your stress by 1d6 without risking a trauma. The moment he can barely chew his own food.
Jeez.
It's okay, Sterling. We'll babify it for you as well.
Excited to explore this very strange relationship.
Salami smoothies.
Anyway, you each, some way, shape, or form, you eat your sandwiches, possibly through an IV, and you all get the benefits. Let's go in order. What does the doctor do? Reducing stress, I assume?
The doctor needs to reduce stress because he's got 2 bars left before he takes a trauma. So I'm going to go ahead and roll my D6 here. And I'm going to pull two little bars off my meter.
How about you, Max? I will say that you cannot remove the harm of your damaged arm because that is a prosthetic and not a physical thing. It would not make sense for a sandwich to heal a prosthetic arm.
Right. So Max is going to take some of his stress off because he's gotten a little bit of it. Not so worried about the harm.
Now, we'll deal with the harm when you get to the hospital. All right, so go ahead and roll a d6 to reduce your stress.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a d6 to reduce my stress also, because I don't have any harm. Ooh, I got 3.
All right, 2 less stress. Green takes off 3, and then I think you filled all your harm bars. I assume you're getting rid of your level 3, Sterling?
I'm just sitting there watching you eat the sandwich, and it's just like falling. You can't open your mouth. So the lettuce and the meat is just falling onto your chest. It's here. Let me Sterling. Let me just a little right there.
So I have a level 2 and a level 1. I think I had some, and then I erased it. I healed somehow. Or maybe that was from the train.
Oh, you know what? You're right. That's because Benny gave you the whiskey last time.
Yes. Anyway, I'm on the brink of stress, of trauma, so I'm gonna roll for that. That's a 1. That was a very stressful adventure.
Sterling's cookie monstering it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you finish your sandwiches, and now you have a choice. You can go to the minimal medical care facility right here in the Gayster. Nice and quick and easy. Or you can go to the more acceptable quality medical facility in the Artisan District, which is up, as you might recall, several hundred flights of stairs.
I mean, we do have the key to the elevator.
I was hoping you wouldn't remember.
I was gonna say something.
Mind like a steel trap that's been left in the ruins for 3 decades.
Only 3?
Are you gonna just walk up to the elevator like you're trying not to be suspicious? You're like trying to walk up like you just own the place? Or are you...
Oh yes, walking like we own it.
Like we belong there.
Heroes coming through.
Can I grab a clipboard? People don't question you if you have a clipboard.
You can grab a clipboard, and I'll give you +1 to the roll. You go ahead and roll Lurk to go ahead and convince everybody that you belong here. But you get a +1D, so that's good. You get a bonus dice.
6.
All right, 6 is a full success. You guys see Jeff, and Jeff sees you with the clipboard and goes, "Oh, respect, guys. Cool. I didn't know you're admin now," and just goes back to his business.
Tuck that shirt in, boy.
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. whatever Max's last name is. Graves. Mr. Graves. Yes, Mr. Graves.
Inexplicably wearing a name tag.
Yes, the name tags also. I'll give you an extra bonus dice to anyone challenging you if you all have name tags to make you look. Name tags and clipboards, you get 2 bonus dice.
Campaign tattoos.
Ooh.
A tattoo makes you look less like you're an admin. This is a very old-fashioned corporation.
if you're all gonna head over to the hospital to get some wounds patched up, I actually, I'm feeling a little peaked, and I have some, activities that I myself need to take care of. So once we get to the top, I'm gonna head over and handle a few things myself, and I'll meet you back here by the time that you're all wrapped up. How does that sound?
Yes. Could you, good doctor, tell me, can you always see ghosts, or,
Yes, it's like looking plain as day at you, or at Lizzie, or at Sterling. Have you ever been to the movies and seen a film?
I can't say that I have, although I've starred in a few, if you know what I mean.
I'm terribly afraid that I do, and quite frankly, I feel like I might actually need to go to the hospital with you all now as a result of this conversation. That being said, it's like when a camera displays a picture on a screen. I can sort of see the full image at once of a spirit. Who they are, what they were, where they're going, where they've been. It's like a little movie plays in my mind very, very quickly and very, very intensely. Makes it very easy to become friends with them, but it also makes it very easy to become attached to them. If that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we all get attached in ways too. Would you consider them pets or friends, comrades in arms?
They're very close to family. They're the closest thing to family I've ever had, actually.
And they can physically interact.
In certain circumstances. And I can't really make heads or tails as to why some can and why some can't. It might have something to do with the way they died. It might have something to do with how recently they died. It might have something to do with how strong our connection is. It might just be because they want to help me.
And if I am to understand, you had a spirit help us on the train, as well as you had a bottled spirit?
The spirit on the train, I don't know where he came from. I just kind of saw something there, reached out, and he answered my call. The bottled spirit, I had that. It's really funny because it was Nathan's grandfather. Gave it to a guy named Spencer Grift in exchange for passage through the Hot Topics campsite. I know that's an insane sentence and very difficult for anyone to parse, let alone understand, but I had to let a guy borrow a grandpa.
I see.
Go ahead and retroactively roll a tune to be aware of the spirit on the train for Doctor. I'll say this is controlled because you would have been able to examine the situation.
That's a 4.
You, became aware of him. I'll say, you're not exactly sure why, but he is definitely still rattling around inside of Victor Lord. Victor Lord just got 2 souls.
Kamahawa?
You get the impression the spirit went in and can't find its way out.
So, when we were on the train, and this might cause a problem later on, I can ask a ghost to make somebody do something that they don't really want to. That's how I threw Victor Lord off the train. Typically, the ghost goes back to what it is they were doing afterwards, but this time, I'm pretty sure he stayed, and may be hanging out with Victor in Victor's person as we speak.
Interesting. As you know, I'm not the sharpest bulb in the crayon box.
Dull as an onion.
Yes, sharp as a bowling ball. The thing is, though, I have these ideas. We were going to, I believe we spoke about reverse engineering some of the formula from your competitor, and I believe we also discussed a few ideas. One I would like to discuss with you is, have you ever wondered if perhaps our method of energy is rather shoddy? I believe it was methane power on the blimp.
They use peanut oil down in the desert.
Right. I remember a time long ago when it wasn't so uncommon to find batteries. And now it's like finding gold in the Niagara Falls. But What if we made batteries? Do you think spirits have an energy to them?
We all have an energy to us. It's just a question of how we use it, and if it can be contained. I know the essence of a spirit can be contained, but to get them to do something like power a car or power a television, I mean, you'd need to ask their permission. You'd have to treat them with the same sanctity that you would treat any other person. I mean, there are people, after all, just like you and I.
We'll get back to the ethics of it. But I was wondering if it would be possible.
I'm sure it would be. I mean, the one thing I can tell you, though, is that electricity does tend to interfere with spirits. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but where we are in the city, there aren't really a lot of spirits left. I'm not sure if it's the electricity driving them away, or if it's the electricity that is harming them in some capacity, but when I was a kid, they used to be everywhere. And now, not so much. I mean, there's a few here and there. I have some friends, I have some old compatriots that I miss dearly, and I plan on going to visit later. That being said, I'm not seeing any new ones.
Interesting. Well, can we put it in our back pocket to try it out later?
Of course we can. We can try anything. I'm down for anything. I mean, you know that. I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it. Don't take it that way.
Things got really awkward in this. Oh, look, we are at the top. Okay, here we go. Walking out.
I was gonna say the elevator dings, yes. And as the elevator dings, you pop out. There's a guy that's like, oh, good, the doctor. I was told I need to speak with you about the medical supplies. Mr. Famous Nathan said that he needed his supply back, and you had us covered. He took everything off the shelves, every last bottle.
He took every last bottle off the shelves. That son of a bitch. Okay, I will be back in like 5 minutes, guys. Let me go talk to them. Show me exactly where the office is.
Yeah, so he leads you up into like the administrative levels of the hospital. Everyone else goes get medical care. So while you're going there, we're going to circle back to that. That is where you're going. Queenie, you didn't need medical care for anything, right?
No, I probably would have actually stayed on the bottom and gone to find Victor Lord.
Okay, we'll circle back to you in a moment as well then. Max and Sterling, the epic duo. Name a more iconic duo than Max and Sterling. You guys go to a medical room, and Dr. Pepper walks in. It's like, hi, everybody.
Hey, Dr. Pepper.
Could you please use the jelly this time when you're giving me my exams? And warm the jelly, please.
Of course. Would you like for strawberry or raspberry?
I prefer grape.
Oh, okay. You're old-fashioned like that. That makes sense. Anyway, oh my God, your hand, it's mangled, but this time it's mangled. Speaking to my cousin, Dr. Pepper, and he thought you actually had a hand there. But no, I see your prosthetic is mangled, so let me take care of that. Well, oh my God, what happened to you?
Oh,
No, not you, the big guy. He was gonna focus on you, but he saw Sterling has many injuries.
Sterling's fine. He's always like this. Now back to my hand. So
just a camera cuts over and he just falls.
Again.
I have an itch behind me.
He looks like he's passing out a little bit, so he's okay till he wakes up. I have a new hand I ordered after the last hand you broke, because you keep breaking them. These things are expensive. Yeah, your employer covers them, but...
Have you noticed that every time they break, I'm flipping the bird to everyone? It's amazing. It's the third time.
Anyway, he pulls out one. This one, your old one's like made of wood, right? That was what your old one was made out of?
Yes, termites are...
This one's made out of brass. It looks like this like fancy like steampunk gauntlet thing, and he just like loosens the bracket that your old one was attached to and pops this one in place. I got this one special from Switzerland. It's the Swiss knifey arm. There we go. Swiss Army knifey arm.
Swiss knifey arm.
I see you've played Knifey Army before.
Check this out now. Now flip your bird at that wall over there.
All right.
So you flip the bird at that arm at the wall, and your wrist shoots the knife out of it.
Ooh. Oh.
It holds 6 in the clip and 1 in the chamber. 7 knives.
Oh, everyone's going to be excited about this. I can just hear their voices. Max, show us again. Here's someone who irritated me. Show us.
And this latch right here, say you reload it, he flips open a latch on your forearm, and there's just a spot to rotate a click and load knives into it.
up in the administrative offices, I just freeze and I grab the admin's arm next to me and I said, "Did you just hear something shudder? Like the world itself just shuddered? I just felt it in my bones." Just me. Okay.
Anyway, you can go ahead and remove the arm-related harm you had. Do you have any other harm?
Yes, I have one other harm. I was on fire briefly.
That's what the jelly is for, and he smears you in grape jelly. Go ahead and roll 1d6 to see how well he heals you.
So soothing. I got a 3.
All right, a 3. Was that a first-level harm or a second-level harm?
It was a first.
Yeah, it's a first, so it's gone, but you are sticky for the next couple hours.
Yay. Oh, Sterling, what are you doing on the floor? Doctor, could you take a look at Sterling? Sterling's in a bad way.
Of course. Sterling, he slaps you a couple times and splashes some water in your face to wake you up.
Just what I needed.
Let's see what's going on with you, and remind me what levels of harm you currently have left to mark.
I have 1 level of harm from being hit with a flamethrower, and I have 2 levels of harm from Dr. Pepper.
Okay, so just the flamethrower burns?
The stitches.
Go ahead and roll a d6 to see how well he heals your burns. He's just gonna smear more jelly on you.
3.
You are also fine, but now sticky for the rest of the day.
So not fine.
You are medically fine.
Thank you.
Oh, Sterling, you are fine.
Yes, I will say Sterling now has, like, even though jellies not usually do this, like the gleam of like a bodybuilder who oiled their muscles, but also slightly purple.
So he's the Grimace.
And my shirt's been kind of burnt, so it's like shiny abs.
Yeah, you look like the infragnable Crunk.
Is that a "Hello, my name is Sterling" tattoo on your chest?
It is.
Is that how you spell your name? I thought you spelled your name the same as actual Sterling Silver, but okay.
No, it's with an I.
Anyway, here, have a lollipop. And Dr. Pepper gives you each a lollipop. You can each mark one more stress away from your stress bar because you received candy.
That is how that works in life.
Exactly. So you two are all set to go and do your other downtime activities unless you have more you want to do in the hospital.
No, I'm good to go do downtime.
I should leave the hospital to indulge in my vice if we want to come back.
Okay, cool. So you guys do that. You're going to go wander. You're in the entertainment district, so you can have lots of fun. I actually have some ideas. But first, we're going to go back to the good doctor.
I'm actually planning on using one of my downtime activities for this particular purpose to start a long-term project.
Okay, cool. So let's have the meeting really quick here. So you get up there and the chief of medicine's like, yeah, famous Nathan, he says that you are going to provide us all these medical supplies, and he said you're going to give them to us right away. I have a crate that he missed. That's it. I have just a crate of tonic, and for some reason, I keep telling Dr. Nick it's not a medical supply, just jars of grape jelly.
Jars of grape jelly. Is that from the cafeteria?
Maybe it's famous Nathan's miracle jelly.
Famous Nathan's miracle jelly. The miracle is that famous Nathan even got to be famous in the first place. The first thing that we need to do is we need to go down and someone needs to give Benny a call. And Benny is going to have some couriers run down to my supplies and start bringing up some tonics and tinctures. Okay? That's the first thing that we need to do. We'll get that. What else do you need? Do you have an inventory list or a supply list or some kind of information for me that I can work with?
Oh, sure. Here's our standard inventory, and he shows you this really complex chart of medical stuff I'm not going to itemize. And here's how much of it's left. And he puts zeros in all the columns. Oh, I'm sorry. I have 2 bottles of tonic left.
I reach into my vest and I pull out the little bottle I have and I say, well, here's one more. Start with that. I need to get to work. And this is very stressful for me, so the first thing that I need to do is have a very stiff drink. You wouldn't happen to have any medicinal cocktails, would you?
Yeah, sure. We have famous Nathan's recreational tonic. Here you go.
Throw that shit in the trash. I don't want it.
Oh yeah, there's a nice bar over in the called the Artisans District. If you want to go to the circus area, we have a really good bar. It's a sports bar. You can watch the children's gaming league. I think it's what they called.
Okay, I'm gonna go down to the bar. I'm gonna devise a plan. I'm gonna give Benny a call, He's going to start running you what we have in stock. And by the time I have a plan in place, I will be back here and I will be not 3 sheets to the wind, but maybe like a sheet and a half, depending on how good the games are. Can you make it that long?
You hear people screaming in pain. Yeah, we'll be fine. Dr. Pepper's got this. I have total faith in Dr. Pepper.
Which one?
Oh, that's right. I'm also Dr. Pepper. My apologies. My nephew, Dr. Pepper. He's our head resident.
You guys breed like rats. It's crazy.
Somewhere, Max grabs Sterling by the arm.
Someone's breeding rats.
I don't know if they need help.
I can feel it in my bones.
Alright, I believe you.
My long-term project, I would like to figure out a way to turn the hospital into either passive income or some form of asset that we can use as cover to allow us to do more detailed and intricate jobs and get places that we otherwise would not be able to under the guise of delivering these medical supplies.
Oh, absolutely. So you're trying to accomplish a lot with that. I'm going to make an 8-segment clock.
Of course.
And once you fill all 8 segments, you have completed a thing. Now, the way this works is you get to roll a d6, and for every 2 points you roll on the d6, basically this level of success here, you fill in a clock segment. So 1 to 2, 1 segment, 3 to 4, 2 segments, 5 to 6, 3 segments. And you can spend coin, which we will resolve in a bit, to re-roll, basically keep going until it's finished if you want to. I would retroactively say we're going to do you guys collecting your score in a bit, but we agreed in the Discord chat, everyone gets 2 coin, and I can put 2 in your vault. In addition to whatever coin you receive for the first delivery of the books.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Blades Daddy.
Thank you, Blades Daddy.
For the audience, the free medical care was also part of that because they are in charge of the medical supplies now. So they get 1 round of free medical care for going to the hospital because they are the medical supplier.
All right, time for me to roll. That is a 3, so just 1 clock. I haven't quite figured out my plan yet.
2 segments actually. I said 1 to 2. 1 to 2 is a 1 segment. 2 to 3. 3 to 4 is 2 segments.
Well, I know who my delivery person's going to be, and I know what I have currently, but I got to figure out how I'm going to scale exponentially at this point. And hopefully, getting down to the circus bar to watch some children fight will fix that for me.
You know, on the one hand, you make that sound worse than it is. On the other hand, not substantially so.
I just keep saying sentences in this game that have never been said before in the human language, and it just fills me with joy every time I get to do that.
I really need someone to actively market this show on the subreddit r/new sentence and just keep posting our episodes to it. We're going to cut to Lizzie. So Lizzie, you stick down the Gates District and catch up to Victor Lord's oh yeah, what do you want, hon?
I was wondering if you needed a lookout or sniper to watch your back while you go do this job.
Oh yeah, sure, I can do that. You go survey the area. It's like a warehousey area down by Mount Rainier's not close to sort of have docks. You can do a shipping area, warehouse. There are other similarly heighted warehouses. You can find a spot. Go ahead and roll survey to find a good lookout / sniper spot.
Survey. Oh, I'm pretty decent at that.
I'm gonna go and say this is controlled, so you can do it again if you do bad.
Okay.
Controlled standard.
Yeah, I did bad on that first one. It was a 1 and a 2.
Basically, you have the option here to either roll again, and now it's going to be risky standard, or you can accept that you did bad.
I'll roll again and try for the risky standard. Not any better. That's a 1 and a 3.
Ooh. You absolutely find a spot where you think it's a really good lookout spot, but you realize after you've committed to this spot, there's lots of blind spots that you can't see. There's obstructions, and you're oh, hey, I picked a bad spot, and I don't have time to move because they're already doing the job. You're going to have -1 D moving forward on anything relevant.
Okay.
You watch as Victor Lord and his posse roll up to this thing over cover of night. They've chosen a stealth approach, even though that's not usually what they do. There's a guard. Let's go ahead and roll just a fortune roll to see how well this goes for Victor Lord.
That's a 5.
You watch as there's two guards that are comparably sized to Lord, a little smaller Lord actually, guarding the thing, and he just walks up behind them and does the thing where he grabs them both by the back of the head and coconuts them together. And him and his posse walk in there, and they roll out with a horse-drawn cart full of anabolic steroid children's juice boxes. They start riding along, and alarm starts blaring behind them. Go ahead and roll survey to see if you can figure out what the alarm is.
That's a 4 and a 2.
So you do find the spot. You see a little alarm box on the side of the building that is blaring the alarm, and you would know from experience calling the local authorities. You see an electric box. You could target next to it. You compromise your position shooting out the box, but if you shoot out the box, it will stop him from being pursued by the authorities.
I'll shoot the box.
Roll hunt to shoot the box.
It's a mixed success with a 5.
Yeah, so with the mixed success combined with your previous mixed success, you blow out the electric box, the alarm stops. There's a loud bang, and you get the impression you better get the fuck out of there because someone's going to come investigate the sound of that gunshot.
I take off.
Roll prowl to see if you can get away unseen.
That's a 6.
I just imagine Lizzie has a cigarette hanging from her lips the entire time she's doing it.
A 6. You are confident nobody saw you in your escape.
And I run to a near bar
So you get out of there, Victor Lord and his posse roll all the stuff up.
And I just meet up with them.
Because they load onto the Wienermobile and they meet you at the bar. You did a good job looking out for us. Thank you, Lizzie.
No problem. I'm gonna head to the bar. You wanna join?
Absolutely. And you both take seats at the bar. And on the TV at the bar, you are watching the same broadcast that the good Dr. Winston Thoreau is watching at several thousand feet up.
Enjoy what you're hearing? Rate us on your favorite podcatcher. Reviews on platforms like Apple, Spotify, or Good Pods help new listeners find our content. It's a completely free way to support the show. Thanks for listening.
Christina, I'm all caught up in my favorite actual play podcasts. What should I do?
All of them? Even my podcast, Agents of Damned?
That's right. Your show's excellent, but I'm up to date on that one too. I'm not sure what to check out next.
Yeah, I know. There's just so many excellent actual play productions out there, it can be overwhelming to choose one.
Not to worry, friends. I can make some recommendations.
Oh my gosh, it's multi-talented TTRPG actual play performer and professional musician Marty Balmer.
That's right. Just check out my new podcast, College of Whispers. We're the actual play book club that can help you find your new favorite production. Join me and my co-host Vicky every month as we review and analyze different productions in a spoiler-light format that's both entertaining and informative.
Wow, that sounds great. You don't just look at the big name productions, right?
Yeah, I feel like whenever I ask for podcast recommendations, the same handful of super popular mainstream shows is all I get suggestions for.
Not to fear, on College of Whispers, we look at a mix of big names and indie productions, so the scrappy up-and-coming shows can get their moment in the sun as well.
Well, I'm sold. I'm gonna go download College Whispers on my favorite podcatcher right now. Thanks, Marty.
Wait, Paul, we're part of the Bard Rock Network now. How is any of this news to you?
Give them a listen, everybody. You see a group of children, not children really, actually 37-year-old men competing in the Children's League. Based on how the Children's League works, is the kids participate in no-stakes games that are oh, hey, this is the gateway thing. It's how children are employed in Paradise. But the ones who are really good at it age into the adult gaming league, and they do high-stakes things that can result in physical injuries and even death. And so you're watching two people play. You imagine a 37-year-old man by the name of TJ Maxx is playing a game of cards against this punk kid. He looks like he's maybe 21 years old. Go ahead and roll study to see if you know who the punk kid is. You know TJ Maxx because he's the most famous card player in Paradise.
Mixed success with 5s.
Okay, with the 5s, like, at first you don't recognize him, but then you realize, oh, hey, the TV has a name tag printed underneath him on, like, the green screen display. His name is Little Bean.
Little Bean.
And these two are dueling over what appears to be a tank full of live sharks. And they're both wearing a stake around their neck. TJ Maxx looks like he's in dire straits. He has, this game has like 8,000 life they start with? He's at 100 life. Staring across from him when he has no monsters is Little Bean with 3 giant-ass dragons. And Little Bean's like, I have you now, TJ Maxx. Your undefeated streak is over. Your grandmother's weak deck can't help you now. And TJ Maxx is like, there are no weak cards in my grandmother's deck. And he just top decks a card, and he's like, I played the bullshit card of bullshitness. Go! And all the dragons blow up, and Bean loses 1,000 life points for each dragon that was destroyed, and hits 0. And a trapdoor drops this man into the shark-infested waters with the bloody stake around his neck. It pans away as the sounds of screaming and crunching are audibly recorded on the microphone he was wearing.
Does TJ Maxx have a Millennium item?
Oh yes, he has a mock bird on him. It's the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, I hate you.
I was gonna ask if he had a millennial item on him.
It still would have been the Millennial it's the Millennial Falcon, that's correct.
Yes.
That's much better, yeah.
TJ Maxx remains undefeated, folks. Who is his next challenger in the Adult Gaming League going to be? And can they topple the King of Games? Well, I'm told we can't call him that. The King of Cards. Apparently someone trademarked the term King of Games on us.
It was me.
Probably was.
Max, who's also watching this at the same dive bar as Lizzie, actually pulls out a trademark sheet that trademarks the name King of Games. He doesn't remember why he trademarked it, but he did. And it cuts to commercial.
Stifling our creativity. Thanks, Max.
I don't know why I did it. I just, every once in a while I get these ideas. I was telling the good doctor about my ideas, and I...
Oh man, that's
It
brutal.
went to
That's
Max's ideas.
it's Victor Lord's turn to Lizzie like, man, that's no way to go.
I agree. We may need to do something about this.
Can't believe they're still doing this shit to kids.
Between you and Swift and I, we might be able to fix it.
That would be something, because, Swift Taylor, her, she's got a cousin that plays in the Children's Gaming League, about to come up of age in probably a couple weeks here. And she's worried sick about her cousin.
I get you. I do. Maybe we need to see about doing something before that's up.
I'd appreciate that. We can talk about that after we get this next job done. Her cousin's birthday's not coming up right away, so we have some time.
Yeah, right now, I just want to sit back and relax. How about you?
Same. And he holds up this, comically large tankard of beer, and he holds up to clink your glass.
And I clink his glass.
He slams it, and you realize something. You realize this is, his 5th, 50-ounce tankard of beer, and he's not showing any signs of fatigue. He's basically drinking a keg by himself.
Do I see Max and Sterling?
Max and Sterling, do you wish to be seen?
I believe we are several floors above.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. They went up the elevator. So yeah, no, it's just you guys and the posse.
I think it's kind of weird, but I let it go because I've known people that were that way back home.
Yeah, well, it just adds to your physical impression of Mr. Lord because he can walk off, dropping off a train going 70 miles an hour. He doesn't seem to be fazed by alcohol. And he even made the comment a couple times like, man, I sure wish this did something for me. And you actually watch as the bartender brings him a bottle of whiskey and he drinks it straight out of the bottle, slams the whole thing. Nothing.
Wait a minute, Paul. Is Victor Lord in college?
No? Oh, okay, I did not.
Okay, now I get that.
My bad.
At this point, I would start looking at him and be like, what is going on with you? Nobody should be able to do that one.
I don't know. Alcohol doesn't do nothing to me. It's always been that way as long as I can remember. Why don't you go ahead and roll survey? or study. Study's probably more appropriate here. And it'll be controlled because he's just sitting there. You can pretty much look him over. He doesn't care.
That would be a 1. Because I have disadvantage.
So you can either re-roll as risky.
Okay.
Because he's pointed out to you that he has the thing, I'll give you the 1 bonus die to neutralize the disadvantage for the roll again. Now it's risky because the bartenders probably would notice if you're being too out in front about it.
That's a 4.
With a 4, you're like looking him over and you notice something you didn't see before. Like one of his sleeves is rolled up so he won't get beer on it, and you realize there's like this weird stitching around it. He has like stitches that like circle his entire wrist. And you realize that where the stitches separate, the skin tone is drastically different. Like he's 2 different shades of a pale man. That's all you can get with a 4.
We are very unique.
Like you realize looking at like those look like the hand looks like it's not. Yeah, the hand looks like it's not from the same arm as the rest. But not in the way Max is, where it's a prosthetic. It's still a hand.
At this point, I would probably be trying to get him to go up and find the good doctor. Because even though I haven't been around much of it, I probably would have at least recognized that it's something that he might be able to help with.
Would you like to go get the doctor, bring him down here, or vice versa? Because I will point out, you're at the moment seem to be proposing bringing a known wanted criminal on the elevator to the more secure area of the city.
I would go get him and bring him back down.
Okay. Okay, so roll to reduce your stress. Because we did that activity. The D6 minus your worst attribute.
Yeah, I got 1.
Well, you can mark down at least the 1, so hey, you made some progress. You can spend coin to roll again if you'd like. I don't know what your stress level's at.
Yeah, I think I'm going to, because I still got 4. Oh, it's a 1 again. I think this die is going away.
Well,
a 1 is still better than a 5 or a 6 there.
that's true. All right, so we cut up to Winston. You, as you're watching this show, and Sterling and Max have joined you in your sitting at your alcohol. You all went to the same bar and the circus.
Would I have gone there? Because I don't think I can do anything there.
Like you're not using a downtime activity. You just are recreationally enjoying a drink for the sake of wanting to have watched that broadcast.
Right.
You are physically present for this.
I'll do it later.
So, does anyone want to take a downtime activity in the bar, or am I the only one who wanted to take a downtime activity in the bar?
Oh no, I'm just enjoying a Shirley Temple before I go on my little jaunt.
All right. In that case, the good doctor orders a second round of drinks for you, he, and Sterling, and he picks up his rocks glass. He takes a look at it and he slams it back. He goes, "Excuse me, guys, I really need to take care of this real quick." And he hops up on the bar and he removes his jacket and drops it down to the ground and
Yes.
basically, rings the bell that they do when they get a really good tip. And he looks out at the crowd and he's like, "Tonics and tinctures, potions, elixirs, medicines for all of your ills, extracts, infusions, mixtures, transfusions, a colorful rainbow of pills. Just ask me, I'll sell ya the cure for what ails ya, concoctions to settle your nerves. Just tell me your problem, solutions, I got 'em, prescriptions for what I observe. The oil in my vest, why they say it's the best. Ask anyone here, they'll agree. Don't know where to go? Call Winston Thoreau, and just for a nominal fee, I'll fix all the pain in your body and brain. You need simply to heed my advice. Who turns smiles into frowns? The best doctor in town, Dr. Winston Thoreau's Paradise." I hop off the bar and just sit back in my chair and wait for anyone to come up and talk to me.
Yeah, a bunch of people walk up. And also, there are a couple of ladies in the audience who, when you got up, took off your jacket, started throwing dollar bills on the bar, because they were confused what you were doing at first. And now they look very ashamed that they started in big character.
I write my number on one of the dollar bills, fold it into a paper airplane, and just flick it right back to them.
Oh, you say you have medical supplies? That'd be great, because the hospital's expensive, and you only get free medical care here if you have a certain type of job, or the one day a year. It's only on St. Bernard's Day, so you have some tonic Like, I got injured on the job, and I'm gonna get workers. They don't give workers comp, so
Who gets free medical care around here?
only on St. Bernard's Day. And
No, I understand St. Bernard's Day, but I was under the impression that everyone had to pay for medical care, that there was no free care given out.
They heal the police when they get injured on the job. That's basically it.
Just the police, okay.
Yeah, it's like, or like people who like get hurt doing something the police officers would do. Go ahead and roll a study to like get a better understanding of this as a citizen of Paradise.
That's a 4.
And with the 4, you like don't know a lot, but you do know, like, generally speaking, the Lantern Corporation likes people who keep the status quo going. So if you get injured, like stopping somebody from doing something they wouldn't like, that's why the police get it. It's like, oh hey, you're breaking the laws the Lantern Corporation put in place. They want to keep you in good health because you are a good Samaritan that's going to stop those bad Samaritans from doing bad. Police, medical, like only people who are like essential. Also, anyone who would keep like the wealthy get free health medical care, then I'd pay for it even if they have the money.
I have like a little light bulb moment in that moment, and I take a little notepad, I'll write it on my notepad and pop it back in, and then as I reach in, I pull out another little bottle of tonic and tincture, take a quick sniff of it, and put that one back, take out a second one, take a quick sniff of that one, and hand it to him and say, here, this should be good for your injury. You helped me in an undescribable way. Thank you very much. And I kiss him on the cheek and then send him on his way.
Thank you so much. This is going to help so much with my cholera from the mine.
I should have asked what the problem was before I gave you a smooch. I need to stop doing that. All right, Max, did you hear what he just said?
Vaguely, I was watching the televised issues with the sharks and then you started stripping and the ladies got excited and everything started getting sweaty and I just started blacking out.
I needed to indulge a little bit. Listen, we all need to relax. It's fine. I kept the vest on. No one saw my tattoo. It's okay. I kept things quiet. If there is currently medical treatment that is being either bought and paid for or being waived, there's an opportunity for us as suppliers to make some adjustments to the pricing structure. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. It's called price gouging.
Exactly. So rather than the rich get richer, we get richer.
Yes.
I like this.
Yes, we can stick it to the man.
And I raise my hand high up and flip off just no one in particular.
And a knife shoots into the ceiling.
There's a couple playing darts on the other side of the bar, and it just goes flying between them and hits a bullseye.
Exactly, I love that. Yes, you actually win a game of darts you weren't playing in.
As was foretold. Anyway.
Sterling, do you think you've always had a mind for numbers, right?
Me?
Yes, you.
Sure.
You good at math? Numbers? Words? Numbers? Which one?
Yeah, math not so much.
The words, okay.
I've always been mad at numbers. There's too many of them.
There are way too many numbers.
I'm gonna go find Lizzie because she apparently is the only one here who knows how to do any type of basic trigonometry. Then we can come up with the pricing structure. I'll be back, and I just head out of the bar.
The bartender leads over because he hears your conversation. He goes, you guys know, the problem with math is it's nothing but problems. You need to get into chemistry. That's where you find the solution.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, you find solutions in math?
I'm just going to ignore that. Anyway, Max actually does hear that and says,
Before you go, Doctor, he is technically right. In chemistry, there are solutions. We should find out where famous Nathan makes his potions and tinctures and things. And if we have time to reverse engineer, yes, or we could drop one of my little hairy friends in there.
If we get his grandpa back, we may not even need to reverse engineer. We may be able to get the recipes direct from the source.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm gonna roll to reduce stress. Oh shit, that's a 6. I go, I only had 5 stress, so I actually overindulged.
You did overindulge, so now you get a trauma.
Whoa there, sailor. Standing at attention, I see. Okay, well, here you go, big man. Why don't you point that somewhere else?
Now, what does it mean mechanically to overindulge? I completely forget.
So basically, you get a trauma, and it more informs your role play.
Okay. I'll pick reckless in this situation. I'm definitely going to be acting more reckless, yeah.
You're kind of like, oh, hey, I'm super successful. I have all these plans. You have become reckless. So yeah, now you should be less careful when you're doing things, which is kind of sad because you were the careful one before.
Oh shit.
Max is now the careful one.
Sterling is somehow now the careful one, actually.
Wait a minute, Sterling the one who's been permanently injured for literally the entire run.
Sterling is the one who's throwing himself in danger to stop you all from getting hurt?
I'm just saying it's not particularly
That's
careful.
how I care.
Oh, I guess careful can mean 2 things. That's really nice.
Yeah.
You did include my family early on, which is one of my vices, so that may bring more careful out.
Alright, so I leave to go find Lizzie.
Conveniently, as you leave, Lizzie arrives at the bar because she had an inkling where to find you.
Yeah.
Because we had time. She had 7 minutes to ride the elevator.
Lizzie!
Yes, I need your help.
Thank God I need your help! How amazing is this? You help me, I'll help you first. Are you good at math?
Kinda. I can count cows. By the head, not the herd.
How many cows are in a herd?
How many cows are you gonna put in a herd?
Oh, shit. Alright, what can I help you with?
I will say, Benny is good with numbers. That's why Benny does the business side of ESPN for you guys. Benny can help you with this.
Benny will help me with the numbers. Benny will help me with the numbers. I will help Lizzie with her problem. Benny will help me with the numbers. Let's go find Benny. Oh, what can I help you with?
Victor Lord, he's not right. There's something wrong with his hand. It's like it's 2 different people.
There's a lot wrong with Victor Lord. Where would you like me to begin? He's got 2 souls rocking around in his brain. He's with 2 hands, like Max. He has a prosthetic. I thought you couldn't injure that guy.
No, it literally looked like a different person's hand, not a robot.
Wait a minute, he has a different person, like he's carrying around like a monkey paw kind of dealy bob, or is it like attached to him in some
It's
manner?
attached to his arm.
Okay, so it is his. Maybe he just had an injury and he needed to have the full hand. Max, can you do that? A full hand replacement?
Yes, I was told that I could do that, but since I'm missing an arm entirely, it's just one of those things.
What happens if he's got another soul in his body? What happens to him?
Well, the problem is I kind of put the soul in his body. Remember when I made him jump off the train? Max and I were talking about this earlier. It's really kind of funny, actually. I may have put a train conductor's soul inside of Victor Lord. Maybe, by accident.
But since his soul's still there, then what's happening to him?
I mean, they may be making nice. They may be having an endless existential combat within his brain for the control of the person. I'm not really sure. I've never come across this in all of my years of practice.
But what if the other soul is trying to take over and that's what's wrong with the hand?
Well, you said it was stitched on, right?
It looks like someone sewed a completely different hand on, but...
I mean, if his hand's working, he's been thrown off a train.
He's also drinking a lot, like even more than a redneck would.
Is he in college? Does he have a history of, are you worried about his liver? Like cirrhosis? One of those things?
He's not getting
or
drunk.
Just... He's not getting drunk? That's ridiculous. You have like 2 of these little rocks glasses and you start doing all sorts of crazy things like plotting to take over the government.
If that's all you had, man, you need to be around us rednecks.
Okay, fine. We're going there soon anyway. Now, what would you like me to do for Mr. Lord?
Try and figure out why he's got this hand this way. I think you need to have a look at it.
Did you ask him?
He said he's gonna stay at the other bar down south because of trying to hide out. I'm trying to get you to go to him.
Sure. We're gonna head back to the elevator. Does anyone want to come with?
I have some business I would like to attend up here, but thank you. I'll meet you later.
Sterling?
I also have some business to attend to.
You two go down there. You look at Victor Lord. Roll study to help to look at Victor Lord. You can have the whole conversation. Like, oh hey, I'm just gonna give you a check out. I'm a doctor.
Hi, Victor. It's me. Good to see you. Lizzie asked that I come and take a look at an injury that you have. And that's a 6.
You aren't gonna throw me off no more trains, are you?
Well, we're not currently on a train. We're in a bar.
Fair enough. So he takes off his shirt, and you see stitchwork, patchwork, body parts. Some parts are white, some is skin.
Is that a tattoo on your chest that says, "Hello, my name is Victor"?
Yes, it is.
All right. Neat. I didn't know anyone else had one of those.
Yeah, but there's 4 conflicting skin tones kind of meshing together on his midsection, and the same thing going on with the arms.
On his bicep, it says, "Hello, my name is Steven."
Right. And the only consistency is from neck up, it's all one piece. Everything else is just random pieces. They seem like there's a little misshapenness to it, but you get it looks kind of like they're all roughly the same build.
Victor, have you always had this colorful in appearance?
It was sounds yeah, as far back as I can remember.
How far back do you remember, sir?
He holds up a hand, counting back about 6 months.
6 months? Okay. Victor, you look great. Everything looks to be ship shape and top shape. Lizzie, can you and I talk over here for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Victor, we'll be right back. You know what? Actually, have a beer on me. Have 2 more. That's great. All right. Lizzie, I think he's a homunculus.
What do you mean?
Do you know what a homunculus is?
Bunch of people put together?
Well, it's like a man-made creation that's sort of like a vessel for some sort of intelligence. Something that is created, not necessarily created in the biblical sense, if that makes sense.
So, what do we do?
Like something out of a mad scientist's laboratory. What do we do? Is he in pain? Is he hurting? Is there any problem? Or is it just you're concerned for your friend?
Why would the spirit stay?
My guess is he was designed to hold one. And so when I sent a second spirit into him, that one also stayed, because he was very well made.
I guess he's good now. He seems friendlier.
He does.
I would like to interject and have you guys roll some stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sorry, Lizzie, roll a study roll to see how much you remember about Victor Lord past the last 6 months.
I can't believe Paul's making us play the game and roll things.
A 4.
Of the 4, you don't remember a lot. You remember he's always been a big guy, but you guys used to swim in the watering hole and shit. He didn't look like this before. You vaguely remember him shirtless in a watering hole in tightwad. Big beefy guy, probably as beefy as Sterling is. Not as beefy as he is now, but he was a normal dude a year ago.
Yeah, I tell Doc all this information.
Oh, see, I was under the assumption that he just showed up on the scene in Tightwad 6 months ago. If you knew him growing up, then I have no idea what's going on.
That's why I would like you to roll. I would go ahead and roll study to see what you know about these kinds of homunculi, because you are in the right neighborhood.
Well, that's a 2. I don't know nothing.
I will give you with a 2, first of all, not much. You get the impression it's possible to use the homunculus making process to take a already dead body and use that as the framework. So it is Victor's head. So in theory, it has Victor's memories, or is still Victor. So that's why I'll give you with a 2. Also, you have a name pop in your head because you do know a guy who has worked in the creation of homunculuses from your occult studies. You only know him by name and reputation. They call him Dr. Feelgood.
He's the one they call Dr. Feelgood. Lizzie, I hate to break it to you, but I think Victor might be dead.
What do you mean?
He died, and they somehow brought him back to life without losing his soul.
Nuts. That means I need to call my mom. So she can tell Swift. Guess that's gonna be a hard phone call.
Lizzie, go ahead and roll another study roll. See if you can remember anything that might have happened in between a year ago and 6 months ago that might have caused Victor Lord to die.
That's a 3.
You remember something about a train accident, but you can't remember if it was the right timing.
Well, I had heard something about a train accident about 6 months ago or so. I don't know anything else.
Did you say train accident?
Yeah.
When we were in Salvation, we were told about a train crash in between there and Tightwad. I think I know where we need to go next.
That's where we're going to end the episode.
Blades in Paradise is Paul Kinter as Master of Ceremonies, Justin Langston as Maximilian Graves, Faith Queenie Long as Lizzie Calhoun, and Mel Riley as Sterling Ackred, and myself, Jim Remus, as Dr. Winston Thoreau. Dami Widener is our editor. You can directly support this show at patreon.com/bardrocknetwork, starting at just $3 a month. You can join us on Discord, you can come play games with us, we'll even send you network swag at the end of the year. You can visit our sponsor, Evil Hat Games, and use code BARDROCK10 to buy cool games like Blades in the Dark, and let them know we sent you. You can support the podcast for free by sharing us on social media, word of mouth, or rating and subscribing on your favorite podcatcher. Lastly, you support us just by listening. Thank you for listening, dear friends.